This is E3, Opinionated Entertainment Talk Show, every Monday, 11 to 1. With me, Ryan Franklin. Say hi. That's what he sounds like. He just doesn't talk. Neil McGlynn.
Hello. Hi.
Okay, hey, Ryan. Joining us, he wasn't here earlier in the show, just got back from class. The brick wall himself.
The lower class.
Got him. Jonathan Ashley.
Hi, guys.
Senpai.
And then Robert Robbins.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Kohai.
So, we went through our water cooler talk. We're moving on to our first topic. It's going to be TV this week. We kind of brushed up at the end of last week's show. We're going to start off this time to give the time it deserves. So TV. News highlight reel for TV. Two big things. One, HBO Now. It's a thing.
That's just an Apple thing, right?
No. So, coming in April, on Apple products, HBO Now will launch for $15 a month.
Right.
You can get HBO Go pretty much.
Not just old people anymore.
It's all HBO shows will be on there, all HBO movies. It's unlimited HBO streaming for $15 a month. It will launch on Apple products, on Apple TV specifically, but that will be a timed exclusive, so it'll be coming to everything else later. How do we feel about it? Are we buying it, HBO Now, for $15?
I am not going to buy it.
I already have HBO Go on my PS3 and PS4, so I don't need it. So,
But it does sound...
but you can share it. Like you can share. Yeah. Like you can share with your friends, like Netflix.
15 seems like too much to me.
15 seems like a lot.
I mean, Netflix is like, what, $7.99 a month?
Netflix
But
is about
Netflix
$8.
is not producing the quality.
Yeah, I think
quality of
HBO has better
Yeah, but
quality
there's
shows.
just so much more stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, HBO has... Do you get access to their, like, library? Can I watch The
Yeah.
Sopranos?
HBO, you can
Yeah.
watch everything that's ever been made for
All right,
HBO.
that's of
That is
considerable
good.
value.
They even have an adult section for
Porn.
people out there.
Yeah, yes, they do have that.
Yeah.
But all right, so to combat that,
I gotta get it now.
Netflix, in terms of quality of show, House of Cards is one of the best shows on TV, and you can't take away from that quality.
It's not even quality. It's, Netflix, I can watch, 1,000 different movies.
Oh yeah, and Netflix has
I
has
love
everything.
the movies on Netflix.
HBO has like
But
1
not
to 2.
streaming. Not streaming.
Huh?
They
What are you
have
talking about?
like they don't have everything streaming. HBO
Oh.
now would be all streaming, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're just talking Netflix streaming.
Yeah,
$8
that's
a
it,
month.
because when I said $7.99
Yeah.
for Netflix, that's only with the streaming.
It's only streaming.
Yeah.
Like they have like
I live in the modern world, so I assumed we were only talking about streaming.
Well, hey,
who gets
they
this
do have
anymore?
all the movies.
That's
but
fair.
Yeah.
They don't have them all streaming.
But they
That's
have
fair.
a lot. They have a lot of the streaming, and like HBO has like 1 to 200 movies. Netflix has thousands and every TV show you could like most TV shows you could want. HBO is obviously limited, but it
So
only
much
takes
generalizing.
HBO shows. But Netflix has shows from every station.
Except for HBO? Have
Yeah,
they
no,
licensed anything?
Amazon Prime has HBO shows, but only early seasons of them. But yeah. So John, you didn't get HBO Now? Too much for you?
I'm not gonna get it because I just got Netflix and I love it.
You're just too addicted by Netflix. You don't have time to give to HBO.
I mean, I watched all 9 seasons of Supernatural in about 3 weeks.
As
That's
someone
too much.
whose
That's
account
a-
he used to do that.
That's a waste of
he
time.
does
right
love
there.
Netflix.
I really
so
loved
much.
it.
You're better than Supernatural, but I respect that. So moving on, Dead Mad Men spinoffs. So this is on the news highlight reel because we're obviously seeing Better Call Saul, which is a Breaking Bad spinoff, and next year, we'll talk about next, the Walking Dead spinoff is coming. But so let's talk about Mad Men. Do you think AMC should just take every single good show it has and make a spinoff for it? Like, are we going to get a Better Call Saul spinoff? Or are we going to get Walking Dead
No.
spinoff?
It,
No.
it decreases the value of the original
Spinoffs are
series.
creatively bankrupt.
You think so?
Yeah.
Better Call Saul is just such a good character,
Yeah,
though. That's why it's such a great spinoff.
And Bob Odenkirk is awesome.
Bob Odenkirk,
Oh my God.
Odenkirk
He's such a
rules.
good actor.
Mr.
Bob
Show
is
with
the
Bob
man.
and
Good writer,
David,
good
the premier
writer,
sketch
yeah,
show of the
yep.
1990s.
David Cross did a great job with that.
So, all right. So, what you're all telling me is Better Call Saul is the exception, not the rule. That like a Mad Men spinoff would inherently lean towards being bad, but like if we had a star actor, would that power the show through?
What star?
So they're talking. They had like 8 different spinoffs talking about seeing Sally, the young girl when she's grown up. Talking about seeing 2 of the main characters who went out to California in the final season, following them instead. Now the character was just like likable. Another character is one like a main cast member.
There
Talking about
shows
following
who've done
Peggy, like talking about following one of the characters in the office as she goes out and separates herself. just following one or two characters from the base show and then like making a new show around them. Those were all the spin-off ideas.
If you look at like NCIS, they've done that. Like,
but like,
show on
so
television.
if we want to talk about CBS broadcasting, we can talk about that garbage. Like that's fine. Let's talk about NCIS. Let's talk about NCS Los Angeles.
You
Let's
look
talk
CSI
about
Miami.
You look at the
CSI
ratings.
Saber.
You look at the ratings.
CSI New York.
That's because everyone who watches CBS,
Look at Hitler's ratings.
they bought a TV back in 1990. They put it on, and then they broke off the button to change the channel. So the TV has been stuck on CBS their entire life.
And then it's been replicated.
And it's been replicated. And so all they do is watch Big Bang Theory, and I'm aware that they get like 20 million views.
But I'm saying like
An episode.
Hitler got millions of
as-
votes.
But
It doesn't mean it was
Hitler,
good.
another Hitler didn't come out of Hitler.
Valid.
Yes, he did. CBS. Hitler 2.
But NCIS has successfully
No, you're right.
2 other spin-offs that were like different locations. So when you say the 2 that went out to
So I'm going to
California-
counter you. Let's go to a CSI. Every single CSI spinoff is now dead. CSI OG, CSI LA, CSI
Special
Miami,
Victims.
CSI New York, all dead now. Same with Law and Order. The only
Yeah,
one
Law and
still
Order's
going
a new
strong
one.
is Law and Order SVU.
The new one.
There's a new one.
It's
You're talking about CSI Cyber?
Cyber.
Yeah.
Yes.
CSI Cyber just started, and they have an
Wait,
award,
is that on
quote
Rumble?
unquote,
It
award-winning
looks terrible.
actress because they literally can't say that enough on
I
commercials.
can't stand her.
You can't stand it, not
Can't
fan.
stand her.
That would be Patricia Arquette, by the
It
way.
would be Patricia Arquette. She is a
Award winner.
Thank you, Ryan
award
Franklin.
winner, quote unquote.
Part of the Arquette family.
But yeah, so
David Arquette, who once won the WCW world title.
this is why Ryan Franklin knows
Cool
it
story.
because it has something to do with
WCW.
WCW. Oh,
Yeah.
wrestling.
Later
Wrestling.
absorbed by the
Woman Crush
WWE.
Wednesday.
oh, okay. That's OG
This is wrestling
WWE.
with Ryan Franklin.
Yeah, this is your radio show for all
Well,
things
WrestleMania
wrestling.
next week. I'm hyped up.
We're gonna talk
Well,
about
back to
Patricia
Mad Men,
Arquette for 2
like-
hours now and her family bloodlines.
How dare you?
I think if Madman did something like that, it could be successful. But
Yeah.
John Hamm is a great actor.
John
He was-
Hamm.
He was the one holding that show together.
Yeah.
And I don't see like Christine.
Christina Hendricks.
Yeah, she.
Christina Hendricks, yeah.
She
Joan.
Is,
Yeah,
people
Joan.
like her.
Yeah, Christina
like
Hendricks is
her.
awesome. And then also
Was
the
there
the blonde
Idea-
one who's now on
January Jones.
January Jones.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
She was in
People like
X-Men
her.
First Class.
Yeah.
Or no, X-Men Origins Wolverine. But she,
No. She was the character was in Wolverine, but January Jones as the same character was in
She was
First Class.
Yeah,
She was in First
was
Class?
a
She
diamond.
was in First
Emma-
Class? Okay.
She was
She was
a
Emma
diamond.
Frost.
So I was there the first
Yeah.
time. My bad.
Frost.
But yeah, and now she's on Last Man on Earth. But yeah, so what we're saying, if it follows the right character, it could be successful.
Absolutely.
But the right character for I've seen every single episode of Mad Men. Like the right character for the spinoff would have to be John Hamm. Like I don't care enough about any of the other
I
characters
think
to be.
the I can't remember the character's name, but
What's the?
The Silver Fox.
no the woman who the first love interest of
Oh,
Hamm's
the
character.
Are you talking about the
secretary,
artist?
the new
Oh,
secretary.
yeah, Peggy.
Yeah, I think she's a strong actress.
She's like she's
character.
she's a strong 2 on the show.
Yeah.
for sure. Like
She did-
It's
she
been
did
her.
very well.
It's been her show and John Hamm's show. Like
Right.
this is what we're following. But as like the leading role, I don't know about that.
I think there's something to be said for leaving before you've outstayed your welcome, and I feel like that's the case with most spin-offs.
Yeah.
Especially one. It's one thing if spin-offs in the '70s were like, what's his name? Robin Williams got a show of Mork and Mindy after he guest starred on an episode of Alf or something like that. When it's just one episode character who gets their own show, but when it's basically like one of the main cast just
people
gets their
love
own
Mork and
show,
Mindy.
I think that's sometimes you just want to end. Stories just have to end sometimes.
So talking about stories ending, let's talk about Walking
Segues.
Dead spin-off. So that story's not ending. Not only have they said that Walking Dead is a show that could continue through 2020 and could continue forever.
God.
Yes. It's a show that in 2016 will get a summer spin-off, and then it's already confirmed for season 2. So guys, how do we feel about Walking Dead spin-off show?
Is it just going to be the
Walking
Daryl
Dead.
It's
show
good. No,
too?
no main character from
Walking
the current Walking Dead cast has been announced for the Walking Dead spinoff. They do have 6 new characters being introduced in LA, so like across the country.
I guess.
Ryan Franklin. It's a.
I don't like The Walking Dead, so I'm
Neither
not the
do
person
I.
to ask.
I don't either.
I defer
We're going to
John
John Ashley on this one. Walking Dead
I don't either.
fanboy. What do you got
Not
for
a
us?
big fan.
I don't really know how to feel about it because we've been
I
following.
don't know how to feel.
We've been following Rick this entire time
Rick.
and his struggle through the zombie apocalypse. And if you were watching last night, it was awesome. We see all these different problems that just come into play. And I don't know if we can follow another group, even though it is cross country. We could see a different perspective based on that.
Kind of goes back to our Mad Men talk where it just matters who the central character is. If they're strong enough, it'll be good.
I mean, they're introducing a completely new person, so we got to see.
You gotta see. Okay. Walking Dead spinoff. I'm very pro Walking Dead. I'm not fully caught up. I'm like 4 episodes behind just because of work. But I love the show. I know the last 4 episodes have been really, really good. I hear it's been like picking up pace for sure. But like a spinoff show, I don't know. There's only so many stories I feel like you can tell in that world until like they start becoming repetitive. Like how many times can you have like a new bad guy or a new cannibal group or a new town to defend?
What's the new problem?
Right now they're in Alexandria.
Okay.
They have like a new group they're dealing with. They have new survivors who are like betraying them, who are all messed up in the head.
I feel like that's always the problem. It's like either
Walking-
zombies or survivors are betraying them.
Yeah, the show hasn't been about
capturing
zombies
them.
in like 3 seasons now. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you forget zombies are in the show.
So I think a spin-off of The Walking Dead could be successful, but I struggle to see a new
Problem.
like a problem they have to find, because it's always either they're being betrayed, they've been captured by some survivor who, like, whoa, more humans, they must be bad, they must want to kill
Humans.
me. And I want something fresh from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, you're not gonna
other
get
than
that.
zombies and other than like,
Expect less. All right, so moving
that's
on.
why I don't watch anymore.
New on Netflix, besides the incredible season 3 of House of Cards, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. So Netflix recently released 3 new shows. The last one I'm not going to talk about. I tried going into it.
What is it?
I can't remember the name, but it's a show about.
Good sign.
I know, really great sign for the show. It's a show about a young boy who moves back home to his family in Florida, and they have a lot of family secrets that slowly get revealed. Ooh, drama.
Yeah.
Okay, but on to
So
Unbreakable.
like Revenge.
Like Revenge and like so many other bad shows that get canceled. Moving on to Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Tina Fey written, produced for NBC Comedy.
That's just good right there.
That's a good start. Starring Erin from The Office. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt focuses on a small girl from Indiana who was taken, and she was raised in a underground bomb shelter by a mad priest with 4 other girls. And then 15 years later, after living in a bomb shelter for 15 years with these 4 girls and this mad crazy priest,
What was he mad about?
yeah, he was telling them that the world was over and an apocalypse had occurred. She's released back into the world, and she moves to New York City and tries to adjust to life. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Really funny.
That's interesting.
Really cute. The main actress does a phenomenal job. She's really compelling. She's a lot like Jess from New Girl, and like she's like funny, cute, quirky,
Positive.
really positive about everything. Always like looking to the upside. It's a really easy character to get behind in those regards. She's just very likable all the way around. Okay, secondary cast. Her like roommate is a gay African American like aspiring musical actor / Broadway actor. So it's like a very like stereotypical kind of like New York City role, and he's fine. Like he's like I guess, but I don't know, it's not as strong as she is, and not as strong as like her writing
Does it
and
work?
her character.
Does it work?
It works. Like it's funny. I don't really care for his scenes. They just kind of happen, and I just kind of sit there.
Does she deserve that spotlight?
Oh yeah, she does. Whenever she's on screen, it's amazing. Like she's really funny. Her storyline's always really well thought out. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. I'm 4 episodes in. It's 12-episode first season. Already renewed for season 2. So definitely go check that out. It's all on Netflix. So sit down and just watch
Waste
all
your
of it.
life.
Waste your
You
life.
fat
Binge
slob.
it.
Binge
Get some
it.
chips.
Gotta want it. All right, moving on. New season of Vikings is underway.
Hard to hear.
I like to
They're
rep
from
Vikings.
Denmark, by the way, not Scandinavia.
Not enough people watch this show. Production quality.
No. They're from Sweden in this show, definitively. They
Yeah.
go to the temple at Uppsala, which is in Sweden.
This is all
Actual
factual.
Vikings are from Denmark.
Look
Well,
at Ryan Franklin with all the Viking fun
Actual
facts.
Vikings, what does that even mean? what does Vikings mean as a historical term that
I'm
people from the South use to describe their raiders that
Eric
came from
Leifson,
a myriad of historical
Denmark.
areas.
I'm Leif Erikson,
this
so
guy.
you know. Leif Erikson Day.
Eric the Red, Denmark.
Okay, that's one guy.
Those were two guys. That was a guy and his son.
You said Eric the Red and then Denmark. That's one
no,
guy in
I
a
said
country.
Leif Erikson.
All right.
Leif Erikson.
All right.
All right, we're done.
So moving on to Vikings.
We're done.
Production quality equivalent to Game of Thrones. It's a show on
By the way.
Production
Channel.
quality, but what about writing?
show on the History Channel. It's paid for almost entirely by overseas bankers.
What?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
So the quality and the money is there. Like,
Overseas investors.
yeah.
Since when do we talk about funding?
Well, all right, so when
'Cause it's interesting.
when I'm
It's
talking
relevant.
about Vikings,
Well,
like
it's
so
quality.
much of it,
In order to have quality, you need money, and
so much of it is like the
plays a
quality,
role in it.
production quality, and
We're
like the action
outsourcing
sequences.
producing now.
The Vikings is really, really good. First and foremost, because of how immersive the world is, because quality, and then two, because of the action sequences, like large scale battles. Game of Thrones doesn't have that. Game of Thrones goes like small
Yeah.
skirmishes,
Very true.
and once this season we'll have a large battle. Vikings has it like every other episode. There's a huge skirmish between like 100, 200, 300 people on screen, and it's incredible.
Are
But
those live or are they CGI'd at all?
oh, they're all live.
Really?
Oh,
That
yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, it's all makeup, all
Nothing
special
like that
effects,
has
all
been
special.
done in
Yeah.
a long time.
It's OG special effects.
Right.
It's no like Walking Dead even like gets janky with the headshots on zombies. Like you can tell when it's fake.
That's like the crowded Gandhi. They didn't have CGI to like make those millions of people. It's amazing that they're going back like technologically.
And so
Well, it
Vikings.
just makes the quality a lot more.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
Right.
apparently they
More
can afford
believable.
it with all these Saudi bankers or
well,
something.
let's.
I don't get it.
It's important to note because shows like Hannibal, that Hannibal airs on NBC. It's a really, really good show. We'll talk about it later in the year because it's coming back for the summer. It's entirely funded by overseas investors, and because of that, even though it has lower ratings on NBC, they keep renewing it and bringing it back because they don't have to fund it themselves. It's all funded there. So I'm done with you. Ryan's giving me a very, very weird look right now. I'm just gonna move on. The writing is there, the character development's there. A lot of interesting, fun characters to follow.
I've heard
Really
great
good.
things. I haven't
It's
watched
no Game of Thrones in terms of writing and characters, but it's definitely like upper tier level. Like Game of Thrones is the epitome of like television excellence. Vikings is like a B plus show. I recommend it for sure. If you like Game of Thrones, it's a must.
Yeah.
Where is
I
it
have seen an
lacking?
episode. It was pretty good.
Where is it lacking? It lacks in its pacing for sure. The time jumps in the show are random. And
Yeah, like the
But I
first
feel like
season.
you have to have battles.
No, so the time jumps are necessary.
The first season, Ragnar has a son who's like 8, and
Yeah.
now we're on season 3, and I've seen
He's
advertised.
16, 17, yeah.
He's a full-grown man. All
Yeah,
of a
he's
sudden.
full grown man. Even in season one alone, they jump at least 2 years throughout the season.
Yeah.
They skip winter seasons. They just jump huge time periods because
There's
nothing
no,
happens.
There's no rating.
Yeah, there's no
in the
rating
winter,
happening.
so
So
I guess
why don't we
that's
just
but-
watch our characters sit
'Cause
around in
that's
the cold?
how wars worked.
Yeah, but yeah, so pacing is an issue, and some of the characters are just over the top,
like Floki.
like Floki for sure. And the show can't decide whether or not it wants to be supernatural or whether or not it wants to be a realistic interpretation.
Yeah, like they build it originally as like, oh, this is just a historical show about Vikings,
But then it becomes mystical.
One of the main, not really the main characters, but
Yeah.
one of the main supporting characters is this weird seer guy
Yeah.
who he rolls rune stones to predict the future.
That sounds
and he
kinda
has
like Game of Thrones.
He has no eyes. He's got a weird magical face.
Weird magical face.
All right.
But yeah, no, he's he's deformed physically, but like he can see into the future, and he always his
this
predictions
comes
always
true?
come true.
The
Yeah,
first episode, like Ragnar actually sees like Valkyries lifting spirits up into
yeah.
Maybe
the heavens.
And
that
it-
could be how they're trying to bridge like the
in
huge
the
gaps.
in the new season, they have a new character introduced who enters the dreams of like three of our secondary characters, and like they all have the same exact dream of this guy. So it's really like it jumps back and forth between like it can't decide what it wants to be. I guess it wants to be a little supernatural, but
Very interesting.
yeah, just a couple faults, but it's a really really
I'll
good
have to
show.
check it out.
And then finally in the preview block, Daredevil coming to Netflix near you next month. That's April. Oh God, Daredevil is coming.
It's in like 2 weeks.
Have any of you
weeks.
seen the trailers? No.
Yeah, I
shaking
saw
my
the
head.
trailer.
So,
Yeah.
Ryan
I was
Franklin?
just busy with a Total Recall reference. Sorry.
How do you feel about the trailers? How do you feel about the show?
I don't know. From what I've heard, it sounds like they're going for the right mix of Daredevil, because Daredevil's a character in the comics who's swung between sort of two great extremes.
Yeah.
Where he's sort of, on one hand, he can be like a light-hearted crime fighter like Spider-Man, and then other times he's super brooding and dark and extremely violent.
Is Ben Affleck gonna be?
Ben Affleck's
Ben
not
Affleck
in
is
that.
nowhere
No.
near this.
Thank-
Don't even
thank
talk about Ben
goodness.
Affleck.
It
He's
seems
playing
like-
Batman.
It seems like they're finding some kind of middle ground between there, because in the
Who is-
trailer
who
he
is the
doesn't
actor as
have.
Daredevil?
Yeah, who is the actor?
I
Some
forget his name,
nobody.
but he's actually from Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, all right.
In Boardwalk Empire, he was an Irish
Steve
hitman.
Buscemi.
Not Steve Buscemi.
No, is
Darn
it,
it.
is it the guy from Friday Night Lights?
I don't know about that. I don't watch that show.
No.
But in Boardwalk Empire, he was an Irish hitman who's actually really, really good. He was
That's
one of
another HBO.
yeah, that's
TV show.
that's HBO.
No,
That's
no,
a
isn't
very
Boardwalk
good
Empire
show.
Showtime or something? Whatever.
No, it's HBO.
You might-
all right. Who cares?
Yeah, it's HBO.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Showtime. No,
don't
they
care.
couldn't produce Boardwalk.
I'm not a Saudi banker. I don't care.
Yeah, he's one of the best characters on Boardwalk Empire. Very compelling, very fun to watch, and like has a lot of action scenes in the show, and he's really, really good. But yeah, he's our lead. So continue on.
So and I think in the trailer he doesn't even put on the full Daredevil costume. He's basically just dressed like Zorro,
Yeah,
where he's got
Really?
yeah, he's got the black Zorro suit on.
a bandana, because he's still figuring out how to be Daredevil at this point.
okay.
They
Which I think
said
will
that
be cool.
within season 1, the red suit will come out.
Okay.
And I don't know, I sort of like that better than Ben Affleck's weird leather gimp suit from
Oh my
the other
God.
Daredevil movie.
Yeah, not fan of the gimp suit.
I
Looks
mean,
like
in
S&M
other
to me.
reasons, but not in Daredevil.
Get him and
related
Catwoman together.
events. I mean, sometimes it's Daredevil related.
Yeah, sometimes that's weird.
All right.
But yeah, I saw both trailers. Kingpin was heavily featured in trailer 2.
Forget about this is part of like a Marvel's huge push where they're
Yeah.
gonna have like 10 Marvel character shows. I'm come back to me when they get the Iron Fist TV show. That's
Oh,
what
it's
I wanna
coming,
see.
yeah.
I know.
So,
that's what I want.
With the
Iron
Daredevil
Fist
show,
and Luke Cage.
for those of you who don't know, Daredevil show is the first of 5 shows. So Daredevil, and then next will be Jessica Jones. She is being played by actually Jesse's girlfriend who overdosed in Breaking Bad.
I had Jesse's girl.
Yeah, so
All right,
in Breaking
come on.
Bad,
No one knows just
That
what
song's a
happened.
classic. Get out of here.
It is a classic.
it's Jesse's girl. That's a classic. Yeah, it's a
Jesse's
classic
girl.
jam. You got to talk to the mic if you don't talk, John. Calling you out real quick. So Jessica Jones is coming. They already casted Luke Cage as the third show. He's being played by the star of Halo Nightfall.
Oh, I can only think of his fictional character's name, not his real name.
Yeah, you know the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And then they haven't casted Iron Fist yet, but that's the 4th show. And then all 4 shows will come together in Avengers style for the Defenders and star in that TV show.
That makes sense. And I really like that because those characters are all linked in the comic books too. Like Luke Cage and Iron Fist are best friends.
Luke Cage
They
and
work with
Jessica
Daredevil.
Jones
Luke
are-
Cage is married to Jessica Jones. They have a daughter.
yeah.
I love Luke Cage.
I'm very excited. I'm very, very, very excited for this. I was very skeptical of Daredevil, but seeing these 2 trailers, it looks grounded, gritty, realistic. Daredevil gets beat
That's what
down.
I like. I like the
He's,
idea
like, in
of
his
a
blood, like
street level crime movie rather
Yeah.
than we're fighting Ultron or
Oh,
Loki,
yeah.
just beating up street thugs.
this is definitely going to be the darkest IP that Marvel has yet to release in its like Avengers Cinematic Universe. You can tell that instantly through the shows, like through what the characters are saying, through the trailers I meant, through what the characters have been talking about, the writing style. It looks really, really good. I'm very excited. Coming next month to a TV near you. All right. So review panel, let's briefly talk about Better Call Saul. Is it worth watching, boys?
It is.
Yes.
Of course.
I also say yes. Ryan Franklin, opinion?
I don't know.
None. Okay. So John Ashley, tell us why we should watch Better Call Saul.
It's a great character from the original show, and it really ties in all the things that happened before he met Walt and a lot of the things that happen after he goes into what is it again? It's witness
crime.
protection.
No, after it's not witness protection. After he gets a new identity and goes underground, because
Yeah.
he does it legally. So it would be like witness protection, but it's all legal.
Mm.
But yeah, I definitely love the way they use both flash forwards and flashbacks. Like it's like the opening scene is a flash forward, and like, it's so
It is
good.
trippy
It's
if you haven't
trippy, yeah.
watched Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Definitely watch Breaking Bad.
you need to watch
first.
Breaking Bad first. You don't
just-
get nearly enough.
Watch Breaking Bad.
No, yeah,
Well,
just-
well,
everyone should just watch Breaking
yeah.
Bad. That's
Yeah,
just
you have to
it.
force yourself for the first season of Breaking Bad because it's kind of bland.
You
but-
have to force yourself through like the first 4 episodes, definitely. But
Breaking Bad, like
It's
so.
bad.
Breaking Bad's
From
biggest
experience.
problem, like besides the fact that the first season is really, really bad. Jesse was made so unlikable in season 1 because he was supposed to get killed off, but then they saved him because the director really liked him. Like because they like the actor,
they
liked Aaron Paul.
Okay.
They're like, oh wait, let's not kill Jesse off. Let's
Right.
keep him going, give him a character arc. So season 1 suffers from just a unwatchable
What are we
Jesse.
gonna do? What are we?
Yeah. And then House of Cards season 3 is out. Not as good as season 1. I've come to the conclusion that no season of House of Cards will ever be as good as season 1. Season 1 is just, I don't know, it was just revolutionary.
Epitomized.
It was so original. They always try to get back to that level of excellence, but House of Cards season 3 is better than season 2 in my opinion. Definitely recommend it. House of Cards is just a great show all around. And then Agent Carter just finished its first season.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yet to be announced if we're getting season 2.
Oh,
Yeah, which I think,
I would hope so.
yeah, Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. aren't hitting the numbers that Marvel or ABC. They aren't hitting the numbers that ABC wants. Yeah, they have to compete with CBS. Unfortunately,
NCIS's reign of terror continues.
yeah, NCIS is killing great shows and new
Are they still in that
IP.
time slot? I think they are. Tuesday,
Yeah,
8.
yeah.
They
So
got to
Agent-
get out of that.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter aren't hitting the numbers that they want, but they're both doing well enough and are both critically loved to the point where Marvel says, hey, we have the money, let's just keep it going because we're trying to build this universe.
I think, what if they moved to Netflix like they're doing with
Very interesting.
Daredevil
I think
and-
maybe we could see Daredevil being like the trial run. Like
Yeah.
if that does really well on
Yeah.
Netflix, they could go all out with Agent Carter. But Agent Carter's first season was really good. Like better than the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for sure. It's on par with season 2 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's the problem with Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent Carter. It just has moments where it's so like cheesy and just. Maybe it's like the TV production. Maybe it's just the poor writing.
So do you think if they had, different, more investors or something else, that,
Yeah.
or like a different,
If they
like-
had
We could just
over,
become
if
a
they had,
financial
if they
podcast.
had
Better writers.
overseas,
What is
no,
going on?
in general, like if he's talking about like it being it's not on Netflix, right?
it's not Netflix.
Well then it's on TV show.
on
right?
It's ABC.
Oh, ABC.
ABC?
ABC.
ABC.
Well then there you go. That's
American
probably why.
Broadcasting
Then it's a
Corporation.
cable provided company, whereas these streaming companies can actually do more with the TV series.
Yeah. So yeah, if they had more money, I honestly think it could be a little bit better, just in terms of special effects, what they could do with superpowers, that kind of stuff.
But she's not supposed to.
But not, even towards Ryan's point, just ignoring money, a TV show can be good on a limited budget.
Yeah.
You just have to have really good writing. And Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does not always have really good writing. For them, I would give them both a B-.
From what I've watched of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Yeah.
that is definitely true. They have episodes that are just flat.
Yeah, for sure.
But
especially
other ones are
the
very
first
worth
15
watching.
episodes of season 1 before they announce the point of the season and the main
Right.
villain. It's hard to get through for sure. All right, we're gonna take our first break here.
Second,
Second break.
100th.
Yeah, third break, whatever. We're gonna take a break here. That was our TV news, reviews, previews for the week. When we come back, we're gonna talk about movies, the new Hitman trailer, Ghostbusters, and Liam Neeson being Liam Neeson. Thank you for joining us. This is 88.9 FM WNYO, Oswego, New York.
Cool.
Listening to WNYO. That hurt.
Well, I like pizza. Oh, baby, you like pizza too. I need some cheese, tomatoes, and olives, and maybe even some meat. I need some pizza, 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 pizza.
Hey, check out Pizza My Heart Radio Friday evenings at 4 o'clock. Playing the best indie, classic, and jazz from our mouth to your ears, right from your favorite local pizzeria.
P-I-Z-Z-A. Give me pizza.
With your handsome hosts, Brian Riley and Gregory Giantonio.
88.9 WNYO, Oswego's only alternative.
I'm John, a volunteer at United Way. I'm here at Lincoln Elementary School to find out what this place needs. Who knows better about what kids need than kids, right? Let's ask them.
Monsters! Lasers! A pool! Another guinea pig! More lasers! Sprinkles!
I was thinking more spinach at lunchtime and maybe more exercise.
Nah. Lasers are cool.
When it comes to creating healthier communities, what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
SUNY Oswego offers full and part-time MBA programs in Health Service Administration, Public Accounting, and Business Administration. Also available are 5-year programs in Psychology and Broadcasting. The SUNY Oswego MBA program is nationally accredited and nationally ranked by the Princeton Review. Classes are available online on the SUNY Oswego campus or at the Metro Center in downtown Syracuse. For more information, you can go to oswego.edu/grad studies.
You're listening.
Welcome back.
Saudis.
Welcome back. This is 88.9 FM, Oswego, New York, WNYO. You're listening to E3, Opinionated Entertainment Podcast, radio show. We do it all. We just got done.
We do it all, including production.
Including production. We have great production value on this show.
No, we don't. Our show didn't record earlier.
Touche.
I have $1 in my pocket.
Moving on.
Freaking Vikings, get me some Saudi bankers. Get some Kuwaiti oil in here, man. I'm dying.
So we just talked about our TV wrap-up. We're going to move on to movies. First off, let's talk about Hitman trailer. So Hitman, obviously a beloved video game series of a assassin. A movie is coming out. There was a movie, I want to say 7 years ago.
Timothy Oliphant.
It was okay. It was a.
Oh yeah, he plays in Justice now, right?
Justified.
Yeah,
Justified. Yeah.
My bad.
It wasn't as bad as some video game movies have been.
For sure.
Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Give me the dagger. That was terrible.
But it wasn't by.
Give me the dagger.
It wasn't by any means a good movie.
It was no Super Mario Bros. With Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
Nothing will ever be
Bob
Super
Hoskins,
Mario
rest in
Bros.
peace.
R.I.P. Moment sounds over. The new Hitman movie, the reboot, is coming out. The trailer was launched 3 weeks ago. We didn't get a chance to talk about it last week. But John, Ashley, what do you think of the trailer? Tell me your opinions.
It looks really good. I'm really excited for the reboot and just everything about Hitman I really like. And to see some of the action sequences and some of the stuff that he actually does in the trailer, I'm super excited to see the full length of everything. It's just, if you haven't seen the trailer, you should definitely check it out. It's definitely interesting to even watch it.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for this movie.
What happens in this trailer? Let's break it
So the
down
best
for
part of
our
the trailer,
listeners.
what doesn't happen in this trailer? The man, the hitman, is running around. You have gentleman from Heroes / Star Trek. I'm blanking on his name real quick. Zach.
Spock?
No, Zachary
Quinto.
Quinto, yeah.
Yes.
Zachary
Spock,
Quinto.
I was right.
Yeah, Spock, you're right. My bad. He's running around. He's like hunting down the hitman. He's hunting him down. And our hitman, he seems like a very like plain, blank slate protagonist, like no real emotion, or doesn't really seem like he has much character dialogue either.
But that's kind of been the deal with the character.
He's genetically engineered, super soldier, but like not Captain America level, just a little enhanced, more like Bourne levels. But he's running around. At one point, he's arrested, and there are 3 guards in there with him. And he's being interviewed.
Is he a Spartan?
No, he's not Spartan. And he goes, "I have your gun. I have you locked up in here. It's time to start talking." And the hitman goes, "No, you're locked in here with me." And
what?
He flips the table up. He slams it down. His sniper rifle, like fully, like 2 foot long sniper rifle, which is being pointed at him in an attempt to like scare him, reloads and shoots. And so it breaks the chain off that he was attached to, shoots through like the glass and hits someone behind there. He then murders all 3 people in the room by like jumping on their shoulder and snapping necks.
Is Zachary Quinto?
No, Zachary Quinto is the guy hunting the hitman. Snaps their necks, puts their clothes on, and walks out. At one point, people zip line down from like helicopters and rooftops. Like SWAT teams are just zipping down after attaching to the hitman's car. And he just takes out 2 pistols and just starts popping
silver ballers.
Silver ballers and just headshots. Just not even looking. Just like behind the back. And like SWAT guys are just dropping from the zip line, just dead.
That was day 1 of his training. This is the first test he had to pass.
Final scene of the trailer, he takes a helicopter and flies it into a building, like
sounds dumb.
Fast and Furious 7 style, where they fly the car into.
If we're talking about, okay, they said a helicopter.
Yeah, this time it's a helicopter. He flies a helicopter into the building.
About helicopters into buildings, the reference is The Matrix.
Yeah,
We're talking about Matrix?
Not Fast and Furious.
Cars into helicopters.
Yeah.
That's
that's
Transformers.
Die Hard.
That's Die Hard. Yeah,
That's Die
Live Free,
Hard,
Die Hard.
yeah.
No, he just takes the helicopter, flies it into a skyscraper. So it's just like on a row, just like
That's all right.
doing its
That
helicopter
is
blade
Fast
thing.
7.
That isn't The Matrix.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the Hitman trailer.
It's a car.
It doesn't look like it's gonna have any like narrative or character depth, but it looks like it's gonna be a really good action flick.
It looks
So,
dumb.
okay, moving on.
Look, the point of Hitman is not crazy action scenes. When you play Hitman right, it's when you're picking up a body and it flops all around with broken physics and you laugh at it and then hide it in a locker. And then you dress up as a chef and poison someone, and it's real stupid.
I think that's what Skyrim's for.
That's what Hitman's about.
Hitman's a great game.
Hitman's
a good game.
Hitman's
Not a
not
great game. I take that back.
If you're playing Hitman running around all gung-ho, you're playing the wrong game.
No,
Go
yeah,
play Gears of War.
Yeah, Hitman's
Dork.
not like an action title. It's meant to be. I play Hitman in a stealthy, like Splinter style way, but that's not what the movie's giving us.
It's stupid.
But we are getting a Splinter Cell movie, so segue right into that.
Wow, what is?
Let's talk video
what
game
even is
movies.
Splinter Cell these days.
Splinter Cell movie's coming. Sam Fisher being played by Tom Hardy.
Ah.
Currently in the works. Are we gonna go see a Splinter Cell movie, guys?
No, I'm gonna boycott it. Look, the last Splinter Cell was made by Michael Ironsides, the voice actor who did Sam Fisher. Then they made the last one, Blacklist. All right, I'll admit,
Blacklist was really good.
in his last role as Sam Fisher in Conviction, Michael Ironsides sounded really drunk the whole time. But you know what? Sometimes that's just how you gotta be. And the idea that they
That's just how you gotta be.
the idea that I was upset that they made a Splinter Cell game without Michael Ironside's voice when he made that character. Now they're going to make a movie about it, and it's going to star Tom Hardy. What's the point?
You think he's gonna do a Bane voice during the movie?
I hope
really
not.
want him to.
That'd be awesome.
But, I
I'd
mean,
rather just
The
watch
fire
Mad Max.
rises.
at some point, like, there's not really a continuing big thread throughout the Splinter Cell games. It's basically just, he's a spy who does NSA stuff to stop individual terrorism threats.
I would
It's not
rather
like
have
he's
a Big Dog movie.
Big Dog movie?
Yeah.
Is it the
Snake.
T-shirts?
No, Snake.
Oh, you're talking about
Big Boss.
Dog? Big
Yeah,
Boss.
Big
Yeah,
Boss.
Big Boss.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't know
We
what
did
he's
we
talking
did
about.
we did our Metal Gear Solid talk last week, but yeah.
But I mean, at some point, a Splinter Cell movie, it's just a generic spy movie with the Splinter Cell name attached to convince people to go, oh yeah, I played Splinter Cell, I'll go see that, I guess.
Hey, my
Go
voice
on,
doesn't
idiot.
sound
I
like
agree with
that.
that.
Okay.
No, I think you're
No,
right.
that's 100% valid.
I mean, like I said, the character was made by Michael Ironsides, and even with the game, when they took that away, I didn't want it. So I don't know why I would touch this movie.
This could that easily could voice your problems with Hitman, where
Yeah.
Hitman
There's
is
nothing
just
really unique to the character outside of the way it works within the game, and
Yeah.
like their voice, at least for Splinter Cell, it's
like
voice
if they
actor.
called Kingsman Splinter Cell.
Yeah,
Kingdom was a great movie. It was really, really good. We talked about that last week. It was phenomenal.
it's just like I said, without Michael Ironsides, the character,
Church scene,
the
though.
person that defines Sam Fisher, it's just another spy action movie, and there's not really any point in differentiating it from anything else.
I think that's bodes well to Hitman as well. I think it looks like a really good action movie, but it doesn't look like a good movie per se. Like, I don't know, a movie can be fun and can be just action focused. John Wick, and I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna really enjoy it.
They're making a second one of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they
I'm
are.
gonna watch it.
Yeah.
John Wick ruled.
John Wick was the best action movie last year.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it yet, stop what you're doing and go watch it. Keanu Reeves' best role since The Matrix.
All right, keep listening.
You pause, watch the movie, come back.
Don't pause. We're live.
Okay. Well, it's really, really good. But at the same time, John Wick is terrible. Terrible narrative strength, terrible writing,
Yeah, I can
bearable writing.
He kills
and
a
the
lot of people.
He kills a lot of people though. It's really
77.
It's really, really good. Like the scene where he's going through the club. Yeah,
I actually
the
downloaded
music's
that
just
song.
like that. It's really good all the way
It's
around.
awesome.
So in those regards, Hitman and Splinter Cell could both be good. But
I
if they
doubt it.
try to be more than that,
I doubt it.
you doubt it. You think they're gonna try too hard?
I
on,
think they probably don't
strong
have enough
narrative?
Saudi bankers behind it.
They should probably get more finances. Yeah. All right, movie number 3 on the video game front: Assassin's Creed.
Is it a movie?
Yeah, the movie. It's starring Michael Fassbender.
Is this real?
This is the one that's coming right after Hitman.
I heard
I
they
was told they were going to try to do a cinematic type thing, not an actual film.
One, it's important to note that all 3 of these video games are Ubisoft.
no Ubisoft.
Okay, I think I said that. But 2,
Ubisoft.
Michael Fassbender starring in the Assassin's Creed movie is like leading with like directing and stuff too. And that one it's coming out before Splinter Cell. Like that one's like it's imminent.
They announced that. Is it really imminent? Because they announced that Michael Fassbender
2016
imminent.
imminent.
Like 3 years ago, they said, "Oh, we cast Michael Fassbender."
They had to rewrite it, and there was stuff there.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Who are they using as the main character for the Assassin's Creed?
Michael Fassbender.
That's a good question. I think it's going to be Altair. It might be Ezio though. They haven't really released plot details
People
yet.
love Ezio.
People love Ezio.
Do you think they're going to do the thing with they have the same face when he travels back? You know,
They might.
It's like, oh,
and then he looks into like a mirror, and it's like a
he's
different.
oh my God, it's my face. Whoa.
It could be a really with the Animus. It could be a very interesting movie concept.
Probably dumb.
But at the same time, people, like most people who play the Assassin's Creed games, are at the point where they're like, I don't care about the Animus.
Yeah.
Just focus on Templar
The
versus
people who
Assassins.
make
Drop
the
me.
Assassin's Creed games
They're
are
trying
like, I
to
don't
push
care
it
about
away.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
let's
Wait,
deal with
why?
the.
I thought the Animus definitely, that aspect
It
about
sets
Assassin's Creed
aside,
was
yeah.
what I played Assassin's Creed for. That was like,
But
I thought that was a cool aspect.
By the end of the
it.
Desmond arc, even Ubisoft is
Yeah.
like, how can we do modern day stuff as little as possible?
Oh, you
in the
work at a
games?
video game studio that's run by the Templars.
It's-
like what?
Yeah. What?
It has
What?
its
Stupidest
pros
thing I've
and
ever
cons.
heard.
Now you're just back
Yeah.
home playing the game, and they
Yeah.
just hack your stuff.
I'm playing this game while playing this game.
But I think it could work. Maybe it would work
Yo,
better as a
dog.
movie.
Yo, dog.
Hit my ride hasn't been.
All right, so let's talk about the Suicide Squad movie. Coming from DC, part of the Justice League of America universe, Suicide Squad.
Is it? Is there really? Can we say there's a Justice League of America universe? Yeah.
I think we can. I think because
they haven't
listed
made
out.
a single.
They made one, Man
All
of
right.
Steel.
It's not even good.
It was decent. It was it's the best Superman movie they've made.
Not a high bar.
Not a high bar for sure. But so yeah, I'd say we can say universe because they've already announced everything for the next 5 years. So what's coming?
So did Sony with all their Spider-Man movies. Look how that turned out.
Too soon. But Suicide Squad, they're rumoring that the main villain for the squad to fight, the squad features Jared Leto as the Joker. It features Margaret Robbie as Harley Quinn. It features...
Isn't it Margot Robbie?
Yeah, I think it's Margot Robbie. I think it's French. I messed that up.
Margot.
It features Will Smith as
No
Will
way.
Smith.
Deadshot.
Will Smith.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, Will Smith, he's just one robot eye and a sniper. Yeah, it's a really good cast. Tom Hardy was Rick Flag, but he just got recasted as a much smaller actor. But they're saying that the main villain is going to be not Deadpool. I'm looking for
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke. Thank you, Deathstroke. Big
Deadpool
villain,
was
obviously.
basically a parody of.
Yeah, exactly. I
is
had
Slade?
the death in my mind. I was like, who is that?
You child.
I knew you'd pick up on that.
You're a child, John.
Deathstroke.
Slade?
Deathstroke. Slade Wilson, main villain from Arrow season 2. Main villain from Arkham Origins. He's pretty much
No, he wasn't.
Arkham Origins.
Arkham Origins?
Origins?
No, the main
Nah,
villain was the Joker.
Well, don't ruin that. For
Okay, that
people.
game came out like 2 years ago.
Too
and
soon.
it was bad.
It was a decent.
Spoiler
game.
alert:
I
the
love everything
Joker's the
about
main
Arkham.
villain in
I
a
love
Batman
everything
game.
about
Oh
Arkham.
no, you never saw that
It
coming.
was a good Arkham game.
Get outta here.
It had a good story. It was a really good Joker story, and they set up for a Suicide Squad game. Well, actually, it's set up for that terrible animated movie that came out, but still.
Whatever.
Anyways, Deathstroke, mercenary. He has like the Captain America, like super soldier formula in him. He wields a katana. He wields a bunch of other random gadgets. He's going to be leading a bunch of hired mercenaries, and a Suicide Squad is going to be tasked with taking them out.
Who's hiring them?
I don't know.
I mean,
The mercenaries?
This was kind of just throwing you a home run ball. All right, to segue. Suicide Squad is hired by the U.S. government.
Oh,
That's
my bad.
Sort of the deal.
No, Suicide Squad hired by Amanda Walker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who
No,
works
I was
for-
saying the mercenary. I thought you meant the mercenaries and Deathstroke.
No, all right, that's my fault then.
Mercenaries, Deathstroke. I don't know who's hiring them, but Amanda Walker, who's also in the movie.
Waller.
Are you sure it's Waller?
Yes.
Amanda Waller, also in the movie. She's leading the Suicide Squad. She's bringing them all together. I don't know whether they're going to go with the Arrow interpretation, where she imprisons them and like puts a device within their mind that she'll trip it and it'll just like blow them up and kill them. Yeah. Or if she's actually just hiring them like through like money and stuff. Because they either capture supervillains and then use them, or they
say they'll pardon them,
or they
pay
pardon
them
their
a lot.
crimes and pay them a lot of money. But what was also announced in these rumors, like announced in rumors is weird to put together, but also rumored Hugo Strange will be in the movie, and that he'll be sitting down with Jared Leto in a lot of his scenes and like interviewing him in a mental hospital. Yeah. So,
sounds like a long movie.
Suicide Squad. A lot of big actors, a lot going on.
Sounds really long.
It'll be our first like villain-oriented superhero film that we've seen in like the modern age of superheroes. So I'm very interested for it. Liam Neeson says he only has 2 years left to play in action movies. How do you guys feel about that?
He never wanted to do like that. The character that he wanted.
Liam Neeson used to do like serious roles back in the day.
Yeah, he won an Oscar for Schindler's List.
And then Taken
but not
happened.
action. Yeah, not action.
No, he did serious like non-action oriented roles. Like he did like he did a lot of great work.
Well, isn't he in his 60s now or something?
Yeah,
he's
I think he wants to go back.
And they do a lot of training and stuff for that too. And I'm pretty sure his body's wearing out with all that stuff as well.
And his fam, like, look at his wife died in a skiing accident a few years ago, and like I think he's just about
just worn out. I think that's what it is.
I watched the second Taken a couple weeks ago, and it was just like I don't know how you guys felt about the Taken series, but
I love the first one.
The first one,
first one is one of my favorite action movies of all time.
I've only seen the second one, and
Taken
it was okay.
2 is okay.
I mean, at this point, he's like his own genre because there's the
Taken.
Taken.
It's literally just like Liam Neeson movies.
Well, he's got another one out.
Just like Don't Mess With.
We're about to talk about that in our review.
Okay.
It's Taken 1, really, really good. Taken 2 is okay. Taken 3 is not good. It's
What else is there?
Then we have Among the Tombstones.
A Walk Among the Tombstones.
I did see that. That was decent.
That was decent.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Is that how the wolf?
The Gray.
Not the same as the
was
other
that
ones.
action or was that more?
That was action. It was. I think it was.
It was like
action.
survival.
It was a little
action.
more drama than.
It was a little more drama than this other.
Like Taken.
Run All Night, which we'll talk about, just came out.
Ah, right.
We have Nonstop, the airplane one we were talking about last show.
Yep.
It's Liam Neeson drunk on an airplane.
On an airplane.
It actually had like more character development than Taken series, but it was really bad.
I completely understand why he says he's only got 2 years left.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was sooner because I think he's like timing out, and to do action movies. It's like Bruce Willis. How much longer is Bruce Willis going to do
forever
action movies like
Until he
that?
drops dead on the set.
I hope so, but he like realistically, I don't know.
You can literally see Bruce Willis's age though. Like even though he's bald, you can definitely see it now. Like growing up with him, watching his shows, his movies and stuff.
I think that is the reason though. I think he wants to get back to serious movies. I think he didn't want to be.
He didn't expect Taken
the type
to be
of actor,
the movie that it was.
Right.
Just like like cultural like phenomenon.
Right.
Like, have a certain set
and now
of
he's
skills.
done more. Like Run All Night is a perfect example of how he's started to do more.
So
movies.
we'll talk about Run All Night real quick. I saw it opening weekend. It was his best movie in my opinion since Taken. Best action-oriented movie. There was a ton of character development in terms of how it set up its world and like a narrative focus for sure throughout the first 30-35 minutes of the movie. It's really, really heavy, and like it made for like a really like engaging film. There are a lot of cool action sequences. The weakest part is Common's in the movie as an African American assassin, and like he's introduced halfway through the movie and then becomes the
better
movie's,
than the RZA.
He becomes
No, he's not.
He's introduced halfway through the movie as like, oh, he's a really good assassin. Watch out, he kills a lot of people. That's literally his introduction, and then he's the movie's final villain. And it was just really disappointing in that regard.
Wait, that's weird.
Anticlimactic.
Very.
I don't want to spoil, but like in all the commercials, Ed Harris is clearly the bad guy.
Yeah, Ed Harris is the bad guy. He's the one leading everything. He's the one who hires Common. But like Liam Neeson, Ed Harris like settle their stuff, and then Common keeps coming. Like Ed Harris leaves the movie. Like okay, Liam Neeson, we're done, and then he's out of the movie. And then Liam Neeson fights Common still.
Spin-off
it goes on.
Ed Harris versus RZA. That's what I want to see.
I'd love to see
Ed Harris and Liam were both awesome. Really, really good. And then I don't know who Liam Neeson's the actor is who portrays his son.
He was in The Killing on AMC.
Oh, yeah?
He's the detective on that.
I've been meaning to watch that show.
It was a cool show for a while.
But he also does a really good job.
He's been in some other stuff recently.
Run All Night, I definitely recommend. Give it a B+. Definitely really, really good action movie. Some cool sequences. Nothing really original in terms of like John Wick action.
It looked average.
It's very good action, but nothing like groundbreaking. Like, oh, Liam Neeson chokes a dude out like in a bathroom. Like Liam Neeson, like he escapes a burning building,
hides under a pile of bodies to pretend to be dead, and shoots a guy who comes in to look at the bodies.
Taken is so good. Nothing like that.
Oh, that was another thing. When I was in France, we were at the
You saw a bunch of bodies?
No. I was in France, and I was literally at the airport spot. I was like, oh my god, this is where the guy gets hit by a bus in the first Taken. It was a revelatory experience.
Clutch word there.
Revelatory.
Yeah, I know words.
But yeah, so I definitely recommend Run All Night, especially if you're into the Liam Neeson action movies. It's one of his better ones. Not as good as Taken, but good, really good. So Ghostbusters Cinematic Universe. We right now have a female Ghostbusters coming out. Do we want a new male Ghostbusters?
Why can't they just let the
universe?
One actor who died rest in peace?
Yes.
Do you guys want this?
What was
I
his
hear
name?
a lot of groans.
Harold
Ramis. What? Let him just
Yes.
enjoy in his wherever he is.
Just let Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold
Yes.
Ramis, and Ernie
so
Hudson.
old
Yeah,
now.
Ernie.
I don't like
yeah.
that.
Just let them have their legacy.
Yeah.
You know?
I really.
How do we need another
Ghostbusters 2 was meh.
Okay, well that's wrong.
That is wrong.
That is
Both
incorrect,
both-
sir.
I think the original Ghostbusters was awesome.
They were both fantastic.
Yes.
They were both fantastic, but I think like they could have left. It's like Airplane. Like they could have just left it at one.
Surely you can't be serious.
But I disagree. I disagree with what is it? Is it McCarthy who's doing it and
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy, yep.
and-
I sort of like the idea of
Karen
she
Swick?
is funny. I think the casting it could be a good movie, but
I like the idea of the
just let him rest
all-woman
in
one
peace.
because I mean that's something new and fresh
Yeah.
and different. You're like, oh, an all-woman Ghostbusters. That's kind of a neat idea. You know, you can't have Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. You know, just try something new, and that's kind of cool. But then after they announced that, it was like there was enough of a backlash that they were just like, oh,
It's like-
make one with men too. 'Cause,
It seems
we're
like
too scared.
It could be like what Bridesmaids was to Wedding Crashers or something.
Sure. But the male one, it seems like such a cynical decision to me, where they're just like, oh, I guess people aren't ready for an all-woman thing, so we'll just make out a crappy male one for people who are too afraid to let women do things in the world.
If they're good, I think if with the right cast, it could be good. But I don't
know.
I'm
if they
pretty
will.
sure nothing you could make today would look as like original as Ghostbusters was in the 80s.
And I don't think it would have the same charm. I mean, without Bill Murray and without Harold Ramis, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know?
They were like typecasted. They worked awesome together, like Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd together.
Bill Murray and
are
Harold Ramis are
yeah.
a legendary pair.
Yeah.
Caddyshack,
Yeah.
Stripes.
Yep.
What are you laughing at?
You were on your phone for like 10 minutes.
I know. I'm letting you guys talk. I heard everything you said, but like, I'm allowed to laugh when you say like legendary pair and then Caddyshack in the same sentence. Like,
what is that supposed to mean?
Oh, because like Caddyshack is one of the best movies we've
mentioned-
ever been graced with.
If you mentioned Chevy Chase and
That's you. That's right.
No, it's not right.
You have been graced with Caddyshack.
Caddyshack?
What?
that's why that's a movie they didn't make a second one.
Sometimes
of for a
I
reason.
stay awake.
Oh, wait,
at
did they make a second Caddyshack?
No.
Sometimes I'm kept up at night looking at the ceiling because I'm like, why do I live in a world where Caddyshack exists?
Well, you're not going to have that
That-
problem.
You're
wrong.
Because I'm going to kill
You're
you in
wrong.
your sleep.
You're also wrong about Super Troopers.
So, Ghostbusters
Super
Cinematic
Troopers is
Universe,
amazing.
we are
Farva.
not fans of. We are not supportive of
what are we not supportive of?
Ghostbusters Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Also, cinematic universes in general are becoming
It's a weird thing.
It's becoming a thing now because of the Avengers, and everyone is trying to do it. And like,
well, I think
not even
Star
superheroes
Trek,
are now.
Star Trek like had the alternative dimension that's
Yeah.
allowing them to do whatever the.
Well, that's
hell they
different.
want.
I don't
So
think
that's
that's the
just-
same because
no, it's
that's
not.
that's
No?
still like just one sort of cast.
That's
but I think
okay.
the universe thing where they have like, oh, here's a Batman movie, here's a
Star
Wonder
Trek,
movie.
they're just continuing the series, like, oh, new Star Trek movies.
Oh,
But
okay. You're saying
by
like
having
the same group of
having the alternate
characters.
dimension allows them to pay
Okay.
respect to what came before, and
Yeah.
not. And also, it says that those movies happen, but just in another universe.
You're just saying like
Yeah.
the
Those are
sheer
reboots.
amount of characters in the comic universes of like DC
Cinematic
and Marvel
universe
are-
implies that there are multiple movies that are all interconnected,
But
they
independent at
feature
the same
independent
time. Okay.
and feature different actors for the most part.
All right, and
So,
a
like-
lot of times different characters because Ghostbusters they wouldn't be the same people.
Exactly.
Right.
So a Ghostbusters
Right.
cinematic universe
Okay, I understand
would be a universe that has the
I take
original.
back the comparison.
The original Ghostbusters, the female Ghostbuster movies, the male Ghostbuster movies,
Yeah.
but they're all interconnected and in the same world.
And
Yeah.
Luke Cage and Iron Fist are there too.
Exactly. Yeah. Luke Cage is running around punching ghosts in the face.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We've got Dark Knight Rises in the background over here, and I'm so distracted.
Yeah. All right. So, our final news highlights for movies: Star Wars, Rogue One, the
Why'd
first.
they call it that?
I would bet $1 billion that it's going to be about an X-wing squadron because
All right. So it's been rumored. It was written by Gary Whitta. It's been rumored to be a
John
heist.
shakes his head.
A heist movie featuring bounty hunters trying to steal.
An X-wing squadron? Why?
We'll talk, John. One second. You and Ryan will argue.
no, I will speak and John will listen. There will be no.
And then
argument.
John will stand up and you'll stop.
Rumored to be a
talking.
bounty hunter movie featuring a group of bounty hunters as they try to steal plans for the Death Star. It is the first spin-off movie in the Star Wars cinematic universe. It will come out in 2016.
The bounty hunter stuff not going to happen anymore.
Well, we don't know about that yet. It'll come out in 2016 after Star Wars 8, and then 2017 will feature Star Wars, or after Star Wars 7, Force Awakens. 2017 will feature Star Wars 8, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, so the first spinoff, 2016, Star Wars, Rogue One.
So
Ryan Franklin, you can begin.
All right. Well, first off, before John
Says a lot of things that are
wastes
wrong.
our time, just
Before
to,
John was wrong. In your opinion?
it's speculation, but it's almost certainly going to be about some kind of X-wing squadron because Rogue has always been the call sign that X-wing pilots use. I mean, these different one like the red or gold leader or red leader, but Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron is sort of. No, they're not. Whatever.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Silence. Rogue Squadron is always basically the squadron of X-wing fighters. There was a whole novel series in the Star Wars Expanded Universe, and a lot of those books are junk, but the X-wing and the Rogue Squadron ones are genuinely good science fiction novels. So that's the name implies Rogue One is going to be the call sign Rogue One would imply that's the squad leader for this squadron. So that's almost certainly what it's going to be about.
Yeah, I see your point there. I definitely agree with that.
I think they said
they
cast. I don't know if this was for this one or the new Star Wars, but they cast
female lead
Felicity Jones.
Yes,
is that
they
her
did.
name? Who
Yep.
played Stephen Hawking's wife in The Theory of Everything.
All that is correct
with Eddie Redmayne.
Yes, she is the main character.
So I think she's going to be because when they first said it was Rogue
Have
One.
Have we ever seen a female X-wing fighter?
No.
There was one
Not in the movie.
in the original 1977 Star Wars, but
Yeah.
it was cut.
Oh wow.
I can't think if there have been any in this. I know there's been stuff in the expanded universe, like the books and comics, but I don't think there is one in the movies at all.
Okay. John Ashley, rebuttal. Rogue One.
I don't understand how an X-wing squadron could be interesting.
What?
We've only seen it for such a little amount of time.
You ever seen Top Gun?
No, let him talk.
Top Gun?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with space?
Put that in.
What does that have to do with space? He's got you
just
there.
keep going.
Have you seen? All right. I'll let him speak his piece.
Yeah.
This is democracy.
Rebuttal.
We
This is
see
democracy.
the X-wing for so little time in the
So
movies.
little.
So if people don't know about the comics or anything else in the universe, they have no idea what you're talking about.
They don't have to.
They don't have to?
Well, I think people who've seen Star Wars know what an X-wing is. It's the
I know,
thing with
but
wings
it's
shaped like
just-
an X.
Got him.
There's just so little.
They don't get
of
the
it.
reference
Yeah,
of Rogue.
they don't get Rogue.
They will when the movie comes out.
So
That's
why
true.
should they have so much time invested in bounty hunters, which I'm super excited
What time
for.
do they have invested in that? If you're telling me that people who don't know about the
You have this
expanded,
like
excuse me, hold
entire
on.
second movie is invested.
What
in
second
that.
movie? Empire Strikes Back?
No, he's talking
No.
about Clone Wars. He's talking about the
Yeah,
OG
Clone Wars.
Boba Fett story.
Boba
Yeah.
Fett?
No,
Yeah, like I
Clone
love
Wars
bounty
is
hunters.
entirely
Django
invested
Fett.
in.
barely, not at all. That's not. It's
I
not
think
entirely
that's
invested
wrong.
in Django Fett. Django Fett is a supporting character in that who gets hunted down a little bit.
Yeah,
it's
but
bad.
everybody
They-
wants to be Jango Fett because he's so
Yeah.
cool.
All right.
Everyone
So-
who's a Star Wars
here,
nerd wants
to
that.
defend-
Hold on.
Okay.
If you're telling me that people who haven't read the expanded universe and don't know about Rogue Squadron won't care about a Rogue One movie, those same people are not going to care about Jango Fett or a Boba Fett movie because that's for hardcore nerds too.
To defend Ryan Franklin, Clone Wars does not focus on bounty hunter. It focuses on a clone origin. Yes, the clone.
By the way, it's Attack of the Clones, the second movie.
It is.
Is that Clone Wars?
Clone Wars.
Oh, that's a TV
Clone
show.
Wars
Yeah,
is
my
a
bad.
TV
That's
show.
it, my bad. Yeah, Attack of Clones. I haven't seen them in a while. It's been a couple years.
I don't care.
You don't really want to watch the
Get
first
going.
3 again.
You don't want to
it
watch
doesn't,
them again.
It doesn't focus on a bounty hunter. It focuses on a guy who his cells are used to make clones, but it's not like a bounty hunter storyline whatsoever. He's not actively hunting anyone. Like 4, 5, and 6 more closely resemble like a bounty hunter storyline, but it's a D sub storyline that's like not even talked about in the movies until he shows up. I found you. I was after you the whole time.
Yeah, Boba Fett says 2 things.
Yeah.
He says like what? He's no good to me, Dad. And
He's the coolest
what about my
character.
money?
He's the coolest character in the first 3 movies for sure. And in that regard, John, yes, you're right. People care more about him, but people know nothing about him. People knew that's why he was so cool. He was so
The
ominous.
kind of general audience that is going to go, "What's an X-wing?" is also going to go, "What's a Boba Fett?"
Yeah, that's valid.
that
People
an
who know
Alabama
people
I'll
know
put
who
Alabama. I don't
Boba
know
Fett
about
is
no
and know what
X-wing.
bounty hunters are. Know what X-wings are. X-wings took down the first Death Star. R.I.P. to all the brave souls we lost.
And the thing is that like maybe
Dark side
I'm
will
only 3 years
fall.
older than you, but maybe you don't
Confederacy
have
is
this cultural
lost.
touchstone. People used to be
Hitler's
nuts
terrible.
about like fighter jets.
Yeah.
Like Top
Yeah.
Gun, that was the coolest thing in the world.
But-
so you take a movie with Top Gun, we're like, oh, Tom Cruise, these handsome guys, they're cool, they're slick, they're fighter jet pilots. Now they're fighter jet pilots, and there's fighter jets that are in space. That's a movie the American viewing public.
Keyword
That's
used to be
interesting.
though. We don't see movies like that anymore. Do you think
No,
the
now you
audience is
see
still
now you
ready
see
for that?
aircraft carriers, and you see
We
like
still-
nukes,
Aircraft
like
carriers which
ICBMs.
launch
I don't-
aircraft. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was a bad example. I don't remember the last time we've seen a movie that focused on pilots or like
Yeah.
a group, like a squad of pilots. Top Gun was a long time ago.
Time to bring it back, baby. Put it in space.
Time to bring it back. All right, so moving on to finish our Star Wars news. Looper Helmer, Ryan,
What?
the guy who's like behind Looper. The
No, I know
director.
that. I'm going what at his UGG.
Oh, Looper's a great movie.
Looper's cool.
Looper rule.
You can wait in the hallway if you want.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson will write and direct Star Wars Episode 8, Untitled, 2017 release date after Rogue One. He's on for Episode 8. And then Disney has already seen early screenings of Episode 7, and they said they love it so much that they're already trying to win back writer-director
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams for Episode 9. Abrams obviously doesn't know if he's too busy or if he
Star
wants to
Trek.
do it again,
Yeah.
but there are Star Wars Episode 9, they already want him back.
I don't want that.
But confirmed, Episode 8, Ryan Johnson.
I want Michael Bay for the new Star Wars.
Stop talking.
No,
Ryan
too
Ryan
much
Johnson
Transformers.
is doing Episode 8. Man Behind Looper. How do we feel about that?
I'm excited. He's a really creative young director
Yeah.
who's willing to do a lot of interesting things. I mean, Looper was a really interesting science fiction movie with stuff that hadn't been seen before.
Looper
and
is such a good
stuff
movie.
that hadn't been done in a long time.
Time travel.
Yeah.
It's a really, really
It's a
good time travel movie.
It's,
Yeah.
My favorite part about that is when they're asking about time travel and Bruce Willis just goes, I don't want to talk about time travel. That's the best way to do it, you know?
Looper, it was a bit weird how it just kind of sort of slipped in superpowers.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we also have this. Yeah, like, oh, there's a dude who can destroy cities with his mind, but whatever. You know.
But I think that really like the idea of him directing Star Wars 8 because J.J. Abrams, I'm not going to say he's a bad director, but
Yeah.
I don't like everything he's done, and he's got such a distinct style. Like, you could see it with just a trailer. Like, the trailer for the new Star Wars, it looked very similar to the Star Trek trailers where just the camera movement and a lot of the lighting tricks
Yeah.
are very similar. And I like the idea of all the movies not being exactly the same because I don't want Star Wars to
Like,
be
each
exactly
one to be
like
distinct.
Yeah, I want them to be distinct, and I want Star Wars to be distinct itself. I don't want
Yeah.
them to have the same like
Cinematography?
cinematographical. Probably not a
Okay.
word. I don't want them
Cinematic.
to have the same cinematic look as Star Trek.
Yeah.
And the first 3 movies, Episode 4, 5, and 6, were all directed by different people. The first one was George Lucas. The second one was Irving Kershner, and the third was Richard Marquand.
The worst one. Yep.
Okay, all right, well,
Whatever.
Say that fight another day. But
Where's the breakable table?
I like the idea of different directors being able to do different things with Star Wars.
Well, who directed the actually like legit first 3 Star Wars movies? Like 1, 2, 3.
Those were all George Lucas.
Those are all George Lucas.
All
That's
of
why
them.
they're all so bad.
Yeah, 100%
Okay.
George Lucas.
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But yeah, so
Phantom Menace.
I-
Why would you kill Darth Maul?
I think
you
it's
had one job.
I think it's a good idea if like J.J.
had
Abrams,
horns.
who has a lot
They
of
gotta go.
experience sort of establishes the new Star Wars, and then other directors like Rian Johnson are able to sort of riff on that and do something new.
Let's see a Wes Anderson.
Yeah,
Star
a Wes
Wars.
Anderson Star Wars.
Neil,
a Wes Anderson Star Wars about the weird blue elephant from Jabba's
Christopher Nolan Star Wars with more plot
love.
gaps than are actually in
The
Star
Force
Wars.
and love are the fifth dimension.
The majestic and wonderful Max Rebo Band. I'm sure that's the name of that Wes Anderson
so
movie.
a lot of people are excited about this because J.J. Abrams is great at like revitalizing sci-fi franchise.
He's all right.
That can be said by how successful the original Star Trek was. Star Trek Into Darkness wasn't as good.
No, not at all.
But it was a nice continuation, though it just lacked narrative strength.
It
really tried to force
think
Khan
it
in
was
there, and
really
there was
good.
no point. Into Darkness is much worse than the original Star Trek. Like
Than
just
the original new
Star Trek, yeah. Just the way they handled Khan, like.
But if you've seen Wrath of Khan, it was really like it did a really good job of paying tribute to Wrath of Khan.
I don't want a movie to pay tribute to another movie. Like I want a movie to be
good,
original and good. Yeah. So
you're not Trekkies.
So he does a really good job.
That's not true at all. I am a Trekkie, and I didn't like what they did with Khan. In the
my
second
dad
one.
and I would get together and watch all the
when they
original
have
Star
Khan
Trek
and
stuff.
he just got like a laser Gatling gun in one hand and a pistol in another.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
That's not Star Trek at all.
That was a great scene.
No, it wasn't.
That was terribly.
You're agreeing with me.
That's
but
not
I'm
how Khan was.
There was super un-Star Trek, but at the same time, I
He was
loved
supposed
watching
to be
that.
super
He was
strong, but that's not how
he just came down, just murdered everyone.
Yeah, but he was supposed to have like people under his control, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think he's
a manipulator, not like a
right.
not Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, Ryan. I agree with you.
You know what? Put Brock Lesnar in a movie. I'll watch it.
What? Put Brock Lesnar in a John Wick movie.
Yeah.
Have him fight John Wick. Oh,
Holy
I'm
crap.
myself
Keanu
excited.
Reeves would die.
Is he getting hot here, guys?
Former WWE superstar Kevin Nash was actually in John Wick.
Really?
He was the giant bodyguard who John Wick lets live. And he's like, "Oh, Francis, you lost 60 pounds." He goes, "Yes, sir."
Oh,
He
yeah,
goes-
that guy, yeah.
He's like, "Oh, why don't you take the night off? I won't kill you." He goes, "Oh, thank you, sir."
I remember that. That was a great
Big
little
Daddy
moment.
Cool, Big Sexy, Diesel, WWE World Champion, Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash. I know you know this, but former UFC welterweight champion George St. Pierre was in
Captain America.
Captain America
That
2,
part
The Winter
ruled.
Soldier, as the jumper.
Batroc the Leaper.
The Leaper, my bad. I forget his name because he's such an obscure villain in the comics.
In the comics, he's like a weird Frenchman who does kicking-based combat and has a curly mustache and wears purple and yellow. And they just said, you know what? We'll have George St. Pierre do it.
We'll have
It'll
a
be
world
awesome.
class. It was awesome though. That was really cool.
That first fight where he does like the flip, click, kick, slam on the ground.
George St. Pierre is awesome.
It was a good fight.
But yeah, so back to our original point. J.J. Abrams does a great job of bringing a very sci-fi and complicated storyline to mass audiences. Like he made Star Trek popular to people who aren't just Trekkies, who aren't just diehard fans. He made it a really good movie for everyone. And so you could do that with Star Wars, integrating a lot of different stories. But Rian Johnson coming in from Looper, doing a really intricate and thought-provoking sci-fi movie, he could make a more complicated and well-told Star Wars film. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
All right, so last thing on the movie front, we're going to talk preview block. This weekend, Get Hard is coming out. Robert Robbins, do you want to go see Get Hard featuring Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell?
I'm going to see that. With the
You are
reclining chairs
going
and
to see that. Okay.
I am going to see
So
that.
you're going to invite me? We're going to go have a bro date?
We should have a bro date.
Okay.
Can we make it a three-way?
No, Neil, you can sit in the back alone with your popcorn.
We'll be reclining,
Yeah.
holding hands and stuff. You can just.
Why are you excited for the movie?
The trailer looked great. I mean, there's a lot of trailers out actually, but the one I've seen, they go into this house party or whatever, and all of a sudden they're driving, and there's this woman, and it's rated, mature. I'm pretty sure. It's
R.
rated R.
We're
but,
not talking about video games.
Yeah, video games. My bad. But no, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, her breasts are showing, and Kevin Hart's screaming, "Oh my God, she's a Nazi!" because she's got a swastika tattoo on her breast.
Peggy
and it just
13.
kills me because just those two comedians together. They did a Jimmy Fallon skit as well, lip syncing type thing, I believe.
Yeah.
That went viral for a while, but that was really good, and I'm looking
Lip-sync
forward
battle.
to seeing them act together.
Just two really funny comedians. You think they'll just play well off each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Just make
definitely.
for All right. So, Get Hard coming
see
out this weekend. We're saying you should be excited. Go see it. I don't know. I'll watch it. Then I'll give you my recommendation. I feel like comedies like this could really easily be bad and unfunny.
Well,
Two
yeah, but I mean,
amazing actors on their own front who are put into a new type of comedy. I think this
Right.
could be this could be a different type of comedy we could see more of.
It could flop like The Interview, though.
Yeah,
it could flop
or
really
that.
hard. John raises a good point. Movies have been flopping frequently.
But The Interview,
actually,
go see The Interview.
The Gunman that just came out flopped really hard.
Good.
Cinderella.
Sean Penn deserves it.
Sean Penn.
Yeah.
They made like $5 million in the States.
Communist
Coming in
idiot.
Sean Penn's a wife beater.
It came in at fourth
And a
place.
communist.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
The Gunman flopped really, really
Oh,
poorly.
I thought you'd hate that.
No.
But okay. That's it for movies this week. We're going to take our final commercial break, and we'll come back with all the video game news you could ever ask for. This is 88.9 FM, Oswego, New York, WNYO.
Oh, honey. Yes? I'm heading to the office. Working late again? Huh. Not that office. The Office Tavern and Restaurant, located on the corner of West 1st Street and West Seneca. Breakfast rates are as low as $2. No minimum purchase required when using a debit or credit card. They're open all day from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m.
That sounds great.
Would you like to join me? The Office Tavern and Restaurant. You can also like them on Facebook.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Scotty 2 Hotty, the master of the worm.
Scotty 2 Hotty. Here it comes. Hit him with the worm. Hit him with the worm, Scotty.
And you're listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, Oswego, New York. Now take that, turn it up, and kick it all night long.
Listen to The Girl Factor on 88.9 FM WNYO Oswego, New York with Julie, Gabby, and Nicole on Fridays from 3 to 4. The Girl Factor. It's not just for girls.
Hey, Nick Cannon here. So we all know we've got a lot of talent in America, but unfortunately there's something else we've got way too much of. Childhood hunger. 17 million kids struggle with it in this country. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gather surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. This is 88.9 WNYO, Oswego, New York. Neil and Robert Robbins have left us, unfortunately. But with me still are Ryan Franklin.
Ladies.
And John the Brick Wall Ashley.
Hello.
And so we come to video games, our final topic of the week. So, first off, Arkham Knight rated M.
Rated M for mature.
Rated M for mature. So when this news came out, Rocksteady, who makes the Arkham game, who made Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, this is their third Arkham game. They said that they did not intentionally make a game that was rated M. They just made the story they wanted to tell, and it happened to be labeled M. So Rocksteady is allowing it. Arkham Knight is going to be M rated. So if parents go buy their kids this new Arkham game, it will be a mature game. Apparently, it occurs because a villain in the movie is torturing innocents. There's like vague descriptions of what could be happening to make it M. But are we excited? Are we concerned? Are we affected by this at all?
I just want to point out the epic slams that the director of the Arkham trilogy has been making against Arkham Origins.
Yeah.
It's just been downright hilarious. Like he makes every time he talks about what's the new one called, Arkham Knight. Every time he talks about Arkham Knight, he makes a real point to say you'll finally be able to experience the thrilling conclusion of the Arkham trilogy.
Yeah, he just
and just like
really hard
that
on
other
trilogy.
game didn't happen, not part of the trilogy. Don't count it. It sucked. I just wanted to point out those epic beatdowns. I don't really think an M rating matters, though. I mean, I worked at a GameStop. People will buy their kids anything. It doesn't matter. I don't think it's going to stop a significant number of sales. And I also don't think it's really going to... If they didn't go out of their way to, like, oh, let's put in blood and make people's heads explode, and that'll be cool. Like, if it just got it because that's how they made it, and that's what the rating turned out to be, I don't think it'll have any huge impact on anything.
How long did you work at GameStop?
2 years.
I didn't know that.
I'm full of mysteries.
Ryan Franklin, fun fact.
I contain multitudes.
John Ashley, what do you think? I know you're a big Arkham fan, so.
I really liked all the Arkham games, and
All of them. I liked Origins too.
Yeah,
Haters gonna hate.
yeah, seriously. It's I guess you could say it's unfortunate that it got an M rating because all its other games have been consistent with its ratings. But it also allows it a little bit more freedom, I guess you could say.
Yep.
But because of the M rating, I don't know if they said they weren't going for it. It just happened. So it could either be good or bad. It could go both ways.
So you're saying it could be bad because it could be tonally different and thus a jarring experience to the other two games in the trilogy?
Not really. I think more is that like they weren't going for it. It was just by accident and they just got it. So it could still be the same game.
Yeah.
It's just that because of some of the content in the game, it was just by accident. It wasn't on purpose.
Okay. So moving on, Halo ODST coming to Xbox One for the Halo Master Chief Collection. Are we excited about that at all?
Yes.
Why are we excited, Ryan Franklin?
Halo ODST, maybe secretly the best Halo.
Are you talking campaign?
Yeah.
Secretly, you're wrong. Going on to John Ashley before we come back to you. John,
what?
Should we be excited about that?
I liked ODST because it introduced Firefight.
Yeah, exactly why
I think it was awesome.
Firefight is horde for Halo, and it's a ton of fun.
A real tragedy that they took it out of 4.
Yeah, why wouldn't you keep them a game mode? I don't understand. Why would you? Ooh, let's put in
It wasn't just like
let's put in Spartan Ops and release these every couple months because people love Spartan Ops missions.
Was garbage too.
It was trash. It was hot trash. But yeah, Firefight, the best thing that came out of Halo ODST.
It wasn't just like, you buy some $45 action game and then you're like, oh, we put a horde mode in here because that's sort of just required of action games now. Mm-hmm. Firefight was top notch.
Yeah, it was actually well thought out. It was very there's effort and work put into it. Yeah, exactly what you were saying. It wasn't just slapped down there.
Yeah, they put thought and effort into it.
Let's put wave-based horde mode in. Yeah, little kids love that.
I mean, they had stuff in Firefight that Horde and Gears 3 copied, like the skulls became mutators, and stuff like that.
So you a big fan of Firefight, John?
I was a huge fan of Firefight, and while we were doing some of the achievements in Firefight, me and 3 more of my friends just got together. And we just had a grand old time trying to get as far as we can and trying not to die. And then one of us was the last one alive. We all just ridiculed them because they died and messed it up for us.
Yep. That's what Halo Ed's best, just playing with a bunch of guys around a single TV. But so let's talk about how Halo ODST's story is unanimously not the best
story.
Who
says that? It's not unanimous.
Everyone in
it's
the
not
world.
Unanimous if I disagree. No one says that.
Not the best Halo story because that can either go to 4 or Reach.
4? Are you kidding me?
Yep.
4 is garbage.
I'm being serious. 4 is not garbage. 4 is the best narrative Halo game we've seen.
That's false.
4 is good. I like 4 a lot.
4 is straight garbage.
4...
Gene Seed, the most the Gene song, the most generic Chosen One story you've ever heard. That's the best one you're telling me? Oh, I've never heard it.
The world is in your hands now.
Wow, I've never played a game where I was the Chosen One. That's really unique and new and cool.
That many games.
I'm thrilled to have that. I love being the Chosen One. I definitely don't do that in every single piece of fiction. Oh yeah, I watched The Matrix yesterday.
Did you?
I've seen God. Halo 4 stories suck.
I disagree.
ODST is quiet, it's calm, it's personal, it's intimate on a level that none of the others really achieve.
All right, so I agree with everything you just said. Quiet, calm, personal, intimate. Halo ODST story is definitely different and unique. But I just didn't like its base game mechanic, which is you're going back and reliving memories of what happened before. I didn't like that as a narrative. I didn't like that as a storytelling feature.
I liked it.
Okay, well that's.
I liked it because it gave you a chance because you had the city
world,
at night.
The open world hub when you just walk around trying to find these memories was so boring.
No way.
So
no, that was great. That was just the lighting and the music that went into creating that world was top notch. That was beautiful, and it was an atmospheric thing to experience that. And I really liked how you could have that experience where you're sort of on your own and you have to work a little harder to be stealthy and just sort of get by and survive. And then you can go in these memories, and you get back to classic Halo action where it's rocket launchers and tanks and explosions.
It wasn't fleshed out enough for me, though. I love the different tone where it's dark, and you have an SMG that's silenced, and you have a HUD and flashlights, and you're sneaking around at night. But it's night in Halo. There wasn't side missions you often do. There wasn't really world exploration.
Yeah, there was. They had all kinds of secrets in the world.
It was an empty world. There'd be there's a troop of enemies, and then there's nothing. The world felt empty. It didn't feel alive. and you're walking.
I think that was
through-
kind of the idea.
You're going for like a more like dark, intimate tone. Like
I think the world feeling not alive was kind of the point because you were supposed to literally like even the names of the soundtracks were titled All Alone because you were supposed to be about being lonely. The world is not alive because literally everyone is dead in it, and you're supposed to be all alone within it.
the story didn't immerse me. Like playing the character, I didn't feel like I was like afraid and like wandering and like worried about taking on these like groups of troops. I felt like I was wandering from point to like Assassin's Creed, like checkpoint to checkpoint, just so I could start the next mission. I agree. In principle, of the ideas you were saying that would be good, but in execution, I didn't feel what you felt with that character. So like it wasn't like satisfying to me. I love how like it did jump from like night to like the typical Halo combat, but the night stuff itself wasn't fleshed out enough. Moving on, we have Homefront: The Revolution is delayed.
Who cares?
Okay.
Who cares?
That was gonna
John, do you know about Homefront: The Revolution?
I don't know much, but based on Ryan's
Ryan's-
who cares, I don't really know because he says that a lot about
So,
a lot of things.
The original Homefront was a terrible, terrible game. About 4 hours long campaign featuring terrible vehicle sections. And the remake, like pretty much like rebooting it. Like the Homefront still happened. It's it's the sequel, but now it's a story about how North Koreans come in and take over the U.S.
They were all mad about the interview, so they came and invaded.
So it's a story fully fought on like American soil in like a modern day. This one would take place in Chicago.
Philadelphia,
you're right. Philadelphia. Ruled by Koreans, and you'd be like running around with like makeshift guns, like Molotovs. It'd be like an open world story game. So like you run around like opening up gates and like fighting off troops and like as like a very Red Dawn kind of esque game.
Yeah.
You're not excited about it?
Every preview and video I've heard about it makes it just seem like they took Crysis's gameplay and just tossed on a North Korean occupied Philadelphia skin.
Pretty much, yes.
And I didn't really like the Crysis games. I thought they were just kind
Those
of
Crysis
bland.
games were beautiful.
They were pretty, but
and they were
like, look at a painting.
Shooters. We'll take that as you may. And they had a really cool bow in the third one.
I'm tired of bows.
They didn't. Well, it was the year of the bow that year.
It was the year of the bow.
Tomb Raider came out. Crysis 3 came out.
Yep.
There was another bow game too.
There's lots of bow games.
There were a lot of bow games. Arrow was really big.
Year of the bow.
Year of the bow. But yeah, no, I agree. The world and the game of Crysis is lifeless. It's just very, very pretty and like it's fun to play because the graphical fidelity and like it handles itself as a shooter.
And I think it's going to be less fun to play because you don't even have the very limited like superpowers of the Crysis.
Oh yeah. Crysis is fun because like you're switching in your suit back to like speed, strength mode. Like you're fighting like crazy aliens, but in this you're just fighting Koreans.
Yeah.
So it's basically an open world Call of Duty.
Well,
but probably not as good.
I want to say it's to be more like like a saboteur maybe.
I mean, it's pretty much like I said, it's pretty literally Crysis. From what it sounds like.
Okay. So not excited for the Homefront, but moving on to something John and I are really excited about: Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2?
Titanfall 2 announced to be multi-platform. John, do you care at all? Are you excited about that? Like, are you like, oh?
This is the first I'm hearing about it, and I am pretty excited. I just hope they add so much more.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Titanfall is a shell. Like they did a husk of a game that could have been great. Like even in just like terms of guns and unlockables, they didn't have like even half of what normal modern Call of Duty games have.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to make a game like that, you know, where you, like everything's progression and unlockable driven.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do that, as they did, you have to have more.
You do have to have more. Yeah.
I mean,
you have to have a lot more.
These were the guys who took that formula and made it popular with Call of Duty 4.
Yeah.
So you can't go home again.
You
just
that's
can't
a great
go back
way of
like
putting
that.
it. Like you don't have to do it. Like we don't necessarily need that for a game to be good.
Like if they
but
had
when you put it in there, you can't just go a little bit. You can't just put the tip in there and then leave the rest out. Like you have to go like full out with it. You can't just half-ass it.
If you were gonna, make it more like Halo, where there's no loadouts and no progression unlocks, that's fine. If you want to make a game like that, make a game like that. But if you're gonna go dip your toe into the water that, it didn't work. I didn't like Titanfall.
John and I really like Titanfall.
Yeah.
John, why were you a fan of the game?
I was a fan of the game because the parkour system worked super well.
Hardcore parkour.
Hardcore parkour. It worked super well. I had a ton of fun jumping from building to building, going from high place to high place, just looking down at people and killing them. And then being chased away by a giant Titan that was right next to me. And then also from just getting inside a Titan and just beating people down, shooting my giant gun, and just having a ton of fun.
Just having a ton of fun. Yeah, I love Titanfall. It was fast. It was the first shooter in what would become a line of shooters that became faster and more driven on speed and just quick dashes, running off the walls. Like, the mechanics of the game were phenomenal. Like, jumping from Titan to, like, I love killing Titans so much. I pride myself in the amount of Titan kills I got. Where you're just like, you're running off walls, you're just jumping on someone's Titan, literally ruining their day. Because, like, the best thing that can happen in Titanfall is calling your Titan down, but just, like, ruining small children's day by jumping and blowing that thing up. It was, like, so satisfying, that, like, achievement orientation, but the game didn't have a lasting effect on me because of the lack of content. Lack of variety in game modes, which over the last year,
they've been trying to add.
They added a lot. They added, like, 8 new game modes, like, different shooting-based games. Some are actually really original to shooters, but when you need to hook people at launch. Like, I played the game for, like, 40 hours at launch, but then after that, after I hit 50, I had everything.
That's what I heard from everybody. They
maxed every gun.
They were done with it.
I didn't want a prestige. Like, I didn't want to keep going. Like,
I feel like in this day and age, for that price, even if people don't play it, I think you just have to have a campaign to make it worth it for some people.
Yeah. Some people just need it. Like, it doesn't matter if the campaign's bad, but, like, some people just need the campaign. Some people just want it.
Because that game just needed more.
Yeah.
In all respects. And campaign would have helped with that a little bit, but like you said, it definitely just needed more unlocks, more progression. No, I don't think a game needs that. And sometimes I'm a little disappointed in myself that I feel like I've been trained by all these games to sort of feel like a game does need that.
Yeah.
But if you go and trying for it, that kind of system, you have to actually do it, which I don't think Titanfall did well.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to our preview panel for video games, we're going to talk about 2 Telltale-based games, Tales from the Borderlands and Game of Thrones.
They're like every other Telltale game.
Like every other Telltale game, but in a different world.
That's all you need to know.
Tales from the Borderlands has been, like, claimed to be one of the funniest video games ever made.
Really?
In its first 2 episodes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like, Tales from the Borderlands apparently does Borderlands really well, and is really smart character dialogue.
I watched like 2 hours of that played. I didn't
pretty much the entire first episode. Yeah.
I didn't laugh at once.
Really?
It didn't even feel like they made jokes.
Is that because you're not a Borderlands fan though?
I don't even feel like I hate Borderlands' sense of humor, but I don't even recall them making jokes. Like, it seemed, I recall watching it, I was like, this seems oddly serious for a Borderlands property. Yeah. It wasn't the whole game, the whole first episode.
The first episode was about 2.5 hours, so nearly there.
I can't recall a single thing I laughed at.
John, big Borderlands fan. Are you willing to play this once it all comes out? Like, I know you haven't dipped much into the Telltale but does this interest you?
The only Telltale I've actually played was Heavy Rain.
That's not Telltale.
That's not Telltale?
No, it's Quantic Dream.
Aquatic what?
That's Quantic Dream.
Quantic Dream?
They're a French developer.
Yeah, they made the Ellen Page game.
Okay.
Beyond Two Souls.
Well, it's basically a story. It's all story, button-based, all that stuff, looking around.
Yeah, it's an adventure game.
They're all
adventure game. I'm not really a fan of it.
Yeah.
But it is Borderlands. I'm used to it all being a shooter with jokes on the side.
Borderlands is so tied to a first-person shooter for you that you don't think a different world, different setting, like, it wouldn't be the same?
I could see different world, different setting. It could be good, but I just came from the first-person shooter, so I don't know how that will translate when I actually play the game.
Game of Thrones is also coming out with its 3rd episode soon. People have said it's a great Game of Thrones title. I played through the first episode. It was good. They bring in characters from the show, which is a bit jarring to see them in the game. But it's handling itself well. I feel like Telltale's also in a place where, as I was talking about House of Cards before, it'll never live up to the greatness that I got from Walking Dead Season 1. But Game of Thrones is good, and if you're a fan of the show, you should definitely try the game out. If you're a fan of their games, you should definitely try the game out. It might be jarring for non-Game of Thrones fans to go and play this game as a Telltale fan. But it's definitely a lot of fun. All right, so moving on to Adrift. An experience, Ryan. This is the space exploration. You're like Gravity. You're trapped up in space. You go from oxygen to oxygen. You're hearing voice memos. You're the only one up there. There's no shooting. It's an FPSE. No, FPE. So not first-person shooter, first-person experience game. It's from the Microsoft manager who was fired over his tweets.
Oh, Kevin... whatever.
Yes. When the Xbox news was first announced, it was always online. People were complaining to him, and he said, deal with it.
Yeah.
He was fired, and he went and made this game based upon how dark those times were because he lost his dream job.
Oh, no. I
So
was
I-
a millionaire businessman. It was so hard. I lost my job, and I got to fall back on my $100,000 of saving. Now I need Saudi bankers to help me.
Saudi bankers.
Saudi bankers.
So Drift comes to us. First-person experience. You just travel through space, finding stories, unlocking certain areas. Are you excited? Would you be willing to play that?
From what I've heard, it sounds a lot like Gone Home.
Oh, yeah.
Gone Home, which have you
Gone
heard
Home
of
is
that?
also FBA.
Yeah, like a walking simulator. Some people
It's a
derogatorily refer to
3-hour
them as.
adventure through a house.
But that was a big
Gone Home.
breakout game last year, or maybe it was the year before.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, but it was hugely popular and
really, really big.
Renowned for its narrative focus.
Yeah.
And this just seems sort of like a Me Too type game.
I can do this as well. Look at me.
I mean, hearing that it's from that guy was like a marketing manager.
Yeah.
Not like a Ken Levine type or some, auteur creative director. Just sounds like some businessman jumping on the hottest trend. So I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen much of it. I don't want to be too cynical and judge it just on who's making it. But we'll see.
They showed an 8-minute gameplay at PAX East, located
Yeah.
in Boston, Massachusetts, and it looked doable. Like it looked good. It looked like Gravity in terms of like a destroyed space station, just one man floating through it, like trying to survive. But I'm definitely gonna check it out. John, FPE, does that interest you? No actual combat in it. It's just all story based.
Well, it could interest me because you guys ever play Amnesia?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Amnesia,
best
face.
game. But like, I don't understand how this is supposed to entice me. Like, you're just in space, going from oxygen tank to oxygen tank, just listening to video logs.
Yep.
I mean, in
That's it.
Amnesia,
It's a game.
you find notes from yourself because you forgot who you were, and you're being chased by monsters, and it's
Yeah.
dark and scary, and you're in a castle, and like that seems interesting.
So the setting is like you're lost in space, like you're
Uh-huh.
alone, like no one's coming to get you, and like to the Gone Home sense, like you're learning information about the other crew members, and like what happened on the station.
I mean, for Gone Home, it
You're
was
learning about your family.
enough to just
Yeah.
find those little bits of story and try and put the pieces together.
Yeah, like what happened, what tore his
that
family
was enough
apart,
for that
like-
to make that a great game.
That was a good game.
But I mean,
But-
it seems like a sort of a new genre. And
Are you being chased by something?
Nope,
Is
none of
there a
that.
problem other than you're gonna die?
No, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Maybe. if the
It's a
story's
soft- it's a soft maybe.
If the story's awesome, I'll play it. But like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't seem very enticing if there's not something going to kill me,
Mm.
and I have to run away from it.
Unfortunately, our final topic for the show. We'll start off with video games next episode. We're gonna go to God of War 3. Being remastered for PlayStation 4.
This is a dumb trend. That game came out like 3 or 4 years ago. That game came out in 2010.
Yes, it did.
It doesn't need to be remade.
Not yet, anyways.
So, Ryan Franklin, you're not a fan of this.
I'm not a fan of the trend of remastering, and I'm also not a fan of God of War in general. God of War 3. I mean, I like the first two. They were cool, but God of War 3 was just... It was so long, and it was so boring and lifeless. There was nothing compelling in it.
So to defend remastering really quickly, the pro side of remastering is that for many people, the next-gen consoles, which are quickly becoming the second, third fastest-selling consoles of all time behind the Wii, they are some people's first console. And so they didn't have last-gen... They didn't have 360, they didn't have PS3. The PS4 is their first ever console. And so God of War 3 is their first ever time playing a God of War game when it's being remastered. And
Not a good
they're going to
starting point.
announce a new God of War title soon. So they're trying to probably like arc that bridge, like get people on board, like get people excited again about God of War because their last entry was so terribly bad. Ascension.
Yeah. Ascension, yeah.
the Gears of War Judgment of God of War. But yeah, so like it's trying to get people excited. Like God of War's coming back, and it's like, oh, first time on PS4. Like that's not enough for you. Like you're still.
No, I mean, because it's one thing when like they remade Halo, and they took Halo 2 and gave that modern graphics. That's one thing. But God of War 3 was a first-party Sony game. It had like the best graphics possible for the PS3 at the time that it came out. They're not going to make it much better. And as for it being people's first console, play better games. If you're like, oh, I got to go experience video games' history, don't play this. Don't play God of War 3 to do that. Play something better. Or just don't play it at all.
John?
Go, I don't know. Go take up woodworking.
If you were sitting there with your PS4 and you're like, wait, I want to play this new God of War, stop, sell your PS4, and go learn how to woodwork.
Yeah.
Ryan Franklin.
Trade skills.
It'll get you far in life. John?
Me and my friend played God of War 3. We both really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I do not think it needs to be remastered at this time. It just, like Ryan just said, it just came out a couple of years ago. And it shouldn't be remastered. I mean,
you think it's just too soon?
Yeah, it should be. It is a little too soon. Like he said that the graphics were pushing it on the PS3.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if they remastered it and redid it, it'll look beautiful. It just won't be much of a step forward.
Best looking PS3 game, Last of Us.
Yeah,
no one said a
sure.
word when that came out on PS4.
I heard a lot of ruckus about that.
Ruckus, yeah.
Ruckus.
Are you a fan of that being remastered and brought back? As like because it is like said to be the best PS3 game ever made. Almost 9.5 or above on every single review it's ever gotten.
I mean, that was I wasn't a big fan of it.
Yeah.
Of the remastering of it.
Yeah.
But with that, people could make the argument that this game was pushing it so much on the PS3 that if we put it on the PS4, it'll be like letting it free and being as it actually should be.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that that's the case with God of War 3, because God of War 3 wasn't pushing it nearly as much as something like Last of Us was.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I think I'm sure they're not going to put that much work into it to make it look as good as The Last of Us did on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, this has been E3.
Athena!
An opinionated entertainment talk show and all
That's
things
what Kratos
TV.
says.
That's what Kratos says.
Athena! You conspire against me!
Spartan!
Zeus!
Opinionated entertainment talk show and all things TV, movies, and video games. We'll start next episode with a lot of video game talk to make up for how little we had this episode. Thank you all for listening so much, whether it be online or live with us during the radio show. Please continue to send me your feedback. Let me know what we could do better. This has been WNYO 88.9 FM, Oswego, New York. Thank you for listening.